So like a 3, 2, 1 here.
Yeah.
And we are live.
Yeah.
Dad?
Hey, Kevin.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Kevin J, Kevin Ray, extra special I Ask No One episode here today. I am honored, totally honored. This is I Ask No One episode 9. And let's just start off right off the bat. Let's cheers, Dad. I have
to drink that?
You're going to have a little sip, Spiel The Wine. So cheers. Cheers to all the dads out there. Love you all. Thanks a lot for joining.
Let's just put on the camera over here.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Cheers, guys.
That's what we're doing.
All right.
So I got to drink this stuff? What the hell? What is this?
It's ginseng.
Ginseng. Here we go.
That's a swig. All right. Don't want to spoil that white shirt.
Let's get real.
How you doing over there? Good? Good. I make up for that.
What are you doing?
All right. Well, Dad was born in 1959. This is the 9th episode. I've done this 9 times. Ed Rooney, 9 times. What is that?
This is a Hendrick's gin. It's the midsummer solstice. And it's a little martini with a couple cubes. Kevin,
right.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure.
The pleasure's on me, believe me.
Get started on the right foot here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, welcome. I Ask No One. For those of you who have never seen the show before, basically I've traveled the world over the past 15 to 20 years, following my bands around the world. I definitely have a story to tell. So each week I highlight a different kind of gig or weekend. But this weekend I had my dad, and I start at the top of every episode with some facts of the day. And today's fact, just right off the bat, you remember the Spice Girls?
Yeah.
Dave Petrovsky, do you remember the Spice Girls?
Yeah.
Well, anywho, 1 year ago today, today's music fact, 1 year ago today, there was a report that came out in the UK that shared the fact that the Spice Girls, back in 1997, they were bringing in 40 million pounds a year collectively. They released that Spice World movie, which I saw a few times in theaters. And as of last year, they're worth from 4 million a year or 40 million a year. They're now worth 86,000.
I thought you meant 40 million pounds of makeup. Go ahead.
Baby Spice, I'm sure she really poshed up and everything. But hey, that's a little fun fact for you, Spice World. Yeah, any Spice World fans out here? All right. Ray Davies of the Kinks, he's 76.
Yeah.
Joey Kramer, drummer of Aerosmith, he's 70 years old. Uncle Paul, big fan of Aerosmith. I know Dave P is too. So, and I see Paul McCartney. Sir Paul McCartney turned 78 last week.
Yes.
What did you do to celebrate that?
Paul and I are really, he knows who I don't know him that well. He knows who I am. No, I'm a big fan of the Beatles, and McCartney and Lennon will go down as Bach and Beethoven hundreds of years from now. But no, I just shared that it was his birthday as well, and it was also Leonard's birthday last week.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Leonard, let's see, he was born in 91, so he just turned 29. Younger brother Leonard just moved out to California. He's in Napa Valley, California. He's going to be working at David Arthur Vineyards this fall. Really excited about that. So those are just some facts of the day. Today in rock history. There you go. Joey Kramer, happy birthday. Ray Davies. Metallica actually recorded a cover. I'm not sure if you knew this, but they recorded it. Got to say, bring up Metallica fact, right? Metallica recorded "You Really Got Me" in 2009 in Oslo, Norway. I'll have to play that cover. It's really...
I love the Kinks.
Do you?
Oh, sure. I got the Kinks Sleepwalker. I'm a sleepwalker. I'm a night talker, night stalker.
Oh, okay.
Night talker.
Yeah, I know that song.
I'm not a singer. But,
yeah, sing it.
Go ahead, Kev.
Well, the "You Really Got Me," the down pick, the din 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 girl. It had the Black Sabbath Paranoid kind of a chug, and Metallica were really influenced by that down picking. So there you go. And I also, at the top of every episode, I like to talk about, I like to share a quote. So I thought a quote that came first to mind, if I'm going to have Dad on my show.
Yes.
Let me share a little quote here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is from December 25th, 1994. Does this look familiar to anyone? I know in my family it looks familiar, but you think you're cool, but you're not.
Yeah.
I was, let's see, 4, 5, 6. I was 6 years old. My girlfriend wasn't even born yet. And it was Christmas. I saw my dad having a cigar, and I don't know. I thought it wise to go out back there and just, hey, Dad, you think you're cool, but you're not. And everyone found it was funny. Do you remember that?
I certainly do. I certainly do. We were standing in Bowskill's backyard just before dinner. Beautiful winter night, smoking cigars. You're up in the window looking down at us, seeing me smoke, and it was like, oh. And you came down and you said that, and I shared it with others. And we had, that was 1994.
94.
Wow.
And Uncle Chris created this. I still have it, you see, so thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome quote.
Yes.
But I think, Dad, when I think about you, it's really Dale Carnegie.
Oh.
You know, Dale Carnegie, he's got a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that book is the second best-selling book next to the Bible, I understand. And I took the youth development course in high school twice. And Dad always reminded us kids just these little Dale Carnegie isms. You know, act enthusiastic and you'll be enthusiastic, that kind of thing. There's one that always stuck with me.
What's that?
And that is don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
Exactly.
And that's in the Dale Carnegie Golden Book. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. I spent a lot of years doing that. Took some experience to realize how, I would say, detrimental it is to do something like that. Of course, there's going to be gossip, and of course, there's going to be naysayers, and you got to get out your complaining here and there, right? But to base conversations, not to get too deep here. Actually, we are going to get a little deep today. So
I brought my snorkel.
We're going deep. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. So I want to say thank you for introducing me to Dale Carnegie. Are we going to do a Lloyd Christmas Harry one?
Yeah.
Gotta watch your drink.
Dale.
So I brought a little prop for you.
Oh.
Little piece of LoVullo history.
All right.
Does this look familiar?
Oh, sure.
This is
a little golden book.
This golden book is from 1965, Dale Carnegie. My dad's dad, Leonard Santo LoVullo, R.I.P., United States Marine Corps, Purple Heart recipient. He taught the Dale Carnegie course, and he even taught it to prisoners at Attica State Prison. He taught prisoners how to speak, publicly, and speaking skills, communication skills. And one of the things I remember about my dad's dad that really inspires me about your dad, as you talk to anyone, he could speak from prisoners to family members to business people, and he could connect with that. So just to connect with a bunch of different people, I think that's really one of my favorite
Thank you.
things about your dad.
Yeah.
And this is it. It's got his signature in here too. Let's see. Where are we at here? Come on, man. There it is.
Oh, sure.
There it is.
Yeah.
Papa Len, R.I.P. There he is. So there you go.
Thank you, Kevin. That's great. Sure. You know, when you see Dad's signature, there was times in school I had to take some test papers home to have your parents sign. So I signed it, Leonard. You spell it Leonard. And I didn't know how to spell his name. And I spelled Lenard, and I handed it in. And 30 seconds later, Gavin, would you come up to the front of the class, please? And that was Sister Paul Marie.
Paul Marie, you remember her? She really had an impression.
Felicians, just killed me.
Oh gosh.
But it was a spelling bee. I was You know, it was like cat and dog and.
That was at Blessed
and-
Sacrament, not St. Joe's or Kenny's. Right?
No, well, I was a senior in high school, and I was taking a spelling test. It was spelling bag and foot. No, I'm only kidding. It's your show.
Yeah. Well, no, it's all right. So regarding Papa Len, brings me to my very first question in this interview.
Oh wow! Right.
How has Papa Len? And Papa Len, he passed in '91. I was not even 3 years old, and you know, if I could sit down with anyone, it'd be him, and then probably Kurt Cobain. So
It's diverse.
Dad, how has Papa Len inspired you professionally and what you do right now,
Really?
and personally?
That's a tough one. I mean, how did he inspire me? There's
Just a few things that you do in your wine show. Maybe
you know,
that,
well, you know, the one thing that comes to mind about my dad is which I think is a really powerful word, is integrity. He had very high integrity, and his EQ skills were, his people skills were, as you said earlier. You know, you can't teach that. He was a very natural, diplomatic, very empathetic individual. He used Carnegie. He was
Sure.
wonderful, and I share that, and they kind of like overlap each other personally and professionally. Is that he'd always say, you know, maybe make excuses for other people's behavior. You know, if people come to you and you know it's your perception is that they're pissed at you or whatever. You know, it may not be you. It could be something that happened at home, in work, driving to the location, whatever. But you know, try to see it from their point of view and put yourself in the other person's shoes. That kind of answered a lot of questions. But the man was highly regarded around the world in business, and he was really a good man to grow up and to admire. And you know, when he died, I was your age. I was 32. Yeah, I was 32.
oh, wow.
And it was wild. You know, he came from a family of 7, and he died at a young age of 69. But thank you for asking that.
Yeah,
Good guess, good guy.
Of course.
Leonard. So,
Yep, and he passed, and Leonard was born in '91. So
Yeah.
Leonard and
Oh, that's
my
right.
mother's dad's name is Joseph, so Leonard Joseph LoVullo. Very cool. You mentioned integrity. Do you know the guy Herman Edwards? Does that name ring a bell?
Herman Edwards, sure.
Former coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a Jets fan or anything like that. I mean, go Bills, God bless.
Jets, Jets. Go ahead.
No, he's a Bills fan too. So
Bills.
Herman Edwards, he once said on sports, I like Herman Edwards a lot. He's current coach of Arizona State Sun Devils, but as a color commentator or TV personality, I really liked him. And one of the things he mentioned is what makes a champion. And he's a former NFL player. Champion, I don't know, but what makes a champion is integrity.
Yeah.
You do what you say you're going to do.
Exactly. And, you know, it takes decades to get that reputation of having integrity, but seconds to lose it. And that's the other thing about my dad. Very consistent, you know, very consistent. Yeah. And just a wonderful guy.
Amen.
Yeah.
God bless Papa Len.
Yeah.
You drove across country with the family back when?
Yes.
From Buffalo, New York to?
We went out to Burbank, California.
Burbank, okay.
And that was in 1967, August of 67.
August of 67.
Uh-huh.
Wow, summer of love. No kidding.
Yeah, we were in a station wagon and in a pop-up trailer. And there's my dad again driving cross country. And my mother never drove the car that trip. He took it all.
Huh.
And with seven of us in a car, front seat, back seat, is 3 in the front, 4 in the back. And we experienced all different weather and various things.
How was the weather inside? I mean, was anyone farting a lot?
Kevin, you know, I don't know what level of where this is graded. Is PG-13, R, whatever. But I'm not familiar with that word. What is that?
Anywho, when you're driving across country, what music were you playing? This is a music show predominantly. So music-wise, do you remember, you know, humming something, flicking through radio stations in Iowa or something?
No. One thing I do remember as a kid, I was the one. I sat in the front seat, middle, and my brother Len was to my right, navigating. My father's driving to my left, and my sisters and Paul and my mom were in the back seat. And I remember being on the thruway, and you see this caravan with soldiers, and these are men in fatigue. This is during Vietnam. And we would see these kids, maybe we were around some army base or some sort of base or airport, where they were sitting there in their fatigues, and they could see us, see me, as I see the back of this open truck that they're in. I don't know where they were going, to train, to the airport to take off, but now that I'm thinking about it years later, these are men, young kids that went to war that year of '67, and that was a ridiculous. Well, it was a time, and
Sure.
those are the things I remember. As far as music goes, in 1968 we traveled again down to Florida, and I remember the song. It'll come to me. What's your next question? We'll get back to it.
Okay.
I gotta remember what it was.
Moody Blues,
No.
Doors.
No. It's a Beatles tune.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what I just found out?
So,
Okay, just real quick. If you have a platinum certification as a band, if your record goes platinum, you have sold 1 million copies nationwide. The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper, I believe it's at 14 million since 1969 or whatever it is.
for what?
That Sgt. Pepper came out.
Pepper was 67, June.
Okay.
You know Metallica? I know the Beatles. This guy's a Metallica fan. As he said at the top, traveled the world, friends with Hetfield and Lars. But
Love
keep on going.
Metallica, but the Beatles' White Album is their best-selling record at 24 million. They've sold 24 million White Albums since 1960.
You know what's really cool about that album is that they didn't put a name on it. They just left it as a White Album because they didn't need to put a name on it. They were already established, and that was it. It's almost like Led Zeppelin 4. If you look at Led Zeppelin 4, that was released in 70.
75.
No.
Graffiti was 75.
This was 71 November, I believe. Led Zeppelin 4, and there was nothing on the cover as far as a name goes, and that was Jimmy Page's wish, because they've already established themselves, as the Beatles did in '68 when White Album came out. They went white. Kind of reminds me of the story of Veuve Clicquot, which is a champagne that we'll get into another time. But go ahead.
Very cool. Well, let's see. My dad hosts a wine television show. Dad was about to be talking about some Veuve Clicquot. Dad hosts wine television show called Spiel The Wine, Saturday nights at 7, and if you missed it, Sunday nights at midnight. And
As I drink a martini.
yeah. Dad was 25 years in the insurance business, left the insurance business, family business, LoVullo Associates, and started a horticultural business. Our backyard was getting redone back in '98. Dad took a liking of the whole process. So Dad opened up ProGardens. And for 5 years, we were selling, we did a lot of work and help. Sold Japanese maples and Vietnamese pots, and they're still sprinkled around Buffalo, New York, which is just so cool.
Mom and I drove into a parking lot just the other day, and the whole perimeter had the Ainge Mai, as we called it, around the perimeter. It was pretty funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was neat.
Nice. And this was Dad's license plate.
Yes.
Yeah. ProGardens. Dad bought a black Hummer and slapped this on. Then it was a Victory Red Hummer. That was my first car.
Can I throw it over here?
Yeah. ProGardens.
There you go.
Boom.
Thanks for sharing, Kev.
Yeah, of course. And just so many memories being on the farm. We sold pumpkins to haystacks to blueberries and all sorts of stuff. Ponatowski would come out and help, and Treadway and so on. But in your wine show now, what are some things that maybe you learned from insurance and ProGardens that you put right into your 20 minutes and Spiel the Wine? I know it's but maybe if you could just focus on like ProGardens and some of the ways that that's helped you through, dealing with.
There's nothing specific as far as, horticulture or wine or insurance or business. It's the umbrella that kind of overlaps everything. It's relationships. And whether it be in your family or in your business, relationships is paramount.
Yeah.
So if you have a knack of establishing rapport, whether you're insurance, you're in a family, you're in horticulture, you're retail, a television show, or building a business, it's relationships. And those are the things, going back to my dad, that has really, I kind of learned from him of how to do it. Because as a kid, I used to go down to the Genesee building on Saturday mornings and with him and sit across his desk as a 5 and 8-year-old and just watch him. We like to kind of use a comparison, as your show is very music oriented, is that like Charlie Watts, the drummer of the Stones, never took a lesson. He learned by watching. And a lot of things that I'm learning and displaying today, I've learned from just watching my dad and other people. And you put it all together and you shake out all the scum and you're left with cream. And that's what I'm trying to do consistently, as I get into these different things.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't see your snorkel, but you're going pretty deep there. And
Well,
I think that's pretty awesome.
I got a tank on. That was a scuba.
Yeah. So we got some good. Thank you. It's really
Sure.
things I genuinely are.
I usually
curious
charge an
about.
appearance fee. Do I get paid for this?
$5. My girlfriend comes over.
How about $2 cash?
It's just the same kind of jokes every time, when my friends come over, or my parents are gracious enough to allow my
I
friends.
miss your friends.
Yeah,
I miss them.
Yeah.
In our old house, there's enough DNA in our backyard. It's another story.
Thank you for the years of
We should be in
allowing
jail. We should be in jail. When I say we,
that. No fatalities.
not me and you, me and the missus.
Duff McKagan.
You're changing the subject. Go ahead.
Duff McKagan, my favorite Guns N' Roses band member. He hosts a show periodically on Ozzy's Boneyard and Sirius XM called 3 Chords of the Truth. And he's kind of like the George Harrison, just a really signing the autographs and good people person. I've met him in Prague, Czech Republic, actually. But one of he has these fun facts in between every song that he plays, and he was playing. He was playing "Feel Good Hit of the Summer" by Queens of the Stone Age off the Rated R record, and he went into "My Own Summer, Shove It" by Deftones, and the Guns N' Roses opened up for Rolling Stones in 1989, and Duff was backstage with the guys and bumped into Mick Jagger. And here, these guys are total babies off the Appetite for Destruction record. And here comes Mick Jagger, and it was just, the Stones, oh my God, in 1989. There's so many years in the business. And Duff had a question to ask him. He's like, and he actually regretted asking him this question because he maybe came across the fact that he's too tired of playing Welcome to the Jungle. So Duff and his, drunken, drugged up, whatever, asked Mick Jagger, which had a pretty interesting answer, asked Mick, how do you get by performing? I mean, Duff told Mick, he's like, I play Welcome to the Jungle every single night, and I can't stay into it. I can't be motivated by it. And Jagger says, you know how many times I played Jumping Jack Flash? And he said, for a lot of people in the audience, that is the very first time that they're seeing you.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
And, there's the Rolling Stones are still performing.
You got to keep that level.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that just recently, is that when people come up to me and see me in public, it's not, look, I'm not like saying that everybody's after me left and right. But I'm going to keep that level like it's the first time somebody came up to me. And
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be acknowledged and people that. So when he said that, on a lower scale, I could understand what he's talking about.
I'm a server at 800 Maple. I was a front of house manager at Wolfgang Puck at Hotel Bel-Air.
You did a damn good job too.
Oh, thanks.
Damn good.
Thanks, Dad. And Chef Wolfgang Puck, right? My first day, I'll never forget it. He told me to fix my tie, and I take pride in my tie tying skills. From you, even though you would tie it at St. Joe's, and I would leave them tied. All 4 years at St. Joe's, I would leave the ties tied.
Oh boy!
And then I would just kind of in the morning. So
That's good.
Yeah, but I know how to tie a good tie now. And he said, Kevin, we're not in the restaurant business; we're in the people business. So no matter how many people that
that's from Wolfgang.
That's from Chef Wolfgang Puck to me. And no matter how many people you come across in the business, he would go up to tables and he would make tables laugh just so quick. And he would treat every table. I put my ear over here and just walking up to a complete table and just he would strike conversation about just random.
That's all it is.
So
as I said earlier, it's relationships.
Yep.
That's all it is. That's all it is. If you can get that, and people talk about IQ, 4.0 in college. Okay, I get it. EQ sells. EQ will do it. And I would hire gobs of EQs over IQs in a heartbeat. Those are the foundations. Those are the ones that can make you go.
Yeah, thanks. So, what are some songs or records that remind you best of right now in the summertime, this beautiful weather?
Music?
Or there's some time.
Yeah.
For me, it's Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun, Super Unknown record, Stone Temple Pilots, Core, Purple. Even a little bit of Gimme Shelter.
I remember camping in our backyard.
House is the Holy. That record's so summer to me. I'm sorry.
No, I remember as a kid camping in our backyard in the town of Tonawanda, Woodland Drive, maybe as a 9-year-old, 8-year-old. And there was a neighbor to our back, the Katz family. And they played Revolver. We're back to the Beatles. Revolver and Rubber Soul. And I remember laying back in my sleeping bag. They were cranking these tunes. And all I remember is, Baby, Can You Drive My Car? And Day Tripper. And repeated, both albums, so on and so forth. Those were the things that were, I think, the Beatles, Rubber Soul and Revolver, more Revolver than anything.
Okay.
I think the band Chicago, as I got older, Tapestry by Carole King, classic album, one of the finest albums ever made, debut albums. But those are some of the things that remind me.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll play some of that a little bit later.
Some of the things that you mentioned earlier about we're going to talk about disco, Disco Kev, or Disco Dad. What's up with that? Where'd you come up with that?
Give your fro.
I like disco, but I'm not married to it.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned disco in my little
disco here, disco there.
Dad had a disco kind of John Travolta shirt. There's a world's largest disco that's here in Buffalo every year that Dave Petrowski has started. Very, very fun events, and the money raised for charities. Yeah.
No, good days. And we're talking serious amount of money. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dad had a white shirt, and he spray painted "Disco Sucks" on the back of it.
Yes.
You remember that?
Sure.
And I wore it. I remember for Halloween once, but Dad he'll throw on the. He's throwing the Motown. Is Motown disco?
No.
No. See, I'm not too familiar.
See, you should be.
Okay.
Because if you like your Metallica and the whole genre of that, Motown and disco are just two separate. Motown is gold.
R&B.
I think Motown is R&B and blues is right up here.
Yeah.
everything filtered from the blues, including Metallica tunes. You mentioned Cobain and Nirvana. Everything is coming from the blues.
Of course, yeah.
And so.
Yep. So
disco.
Are we talking like Bee Gees is disco,
yeah,
right?
Well, for the most part, yes.
What are some disco? Educate me. What are some disco bands?
Disco Inferno.
I've never seen Saturday Night Fever, by the way.
Yeah, that's great.
My mother's been trying to get me to see Saturday Night Fever for the longest time.
Kevin, we get a little late here.
We mean late.
Are we keeping people?
No, we're good. You guys, any questions? Give us a shout.
Yeah. As long as they're true and false. True and false.
Ashley had a question to ask you.
Yes. You have to come this way.
Is it true that men's nipples get hard when they get horny? I'm curious too.
Are we going to take a commercial break or?
Oh boy. Well, just to transition from that. Yeah, let me take a look at the comments, guys. Any questions? I'm looking at you. Looking at you too. Sam Rue's checking in. What's up, Sam?
Sam, what's up?
Luke, Fred Renard from Oliver's.
Fred,
love it. Well, my final question to you: what has been your proudest moment in being a father?
Proudest moment. Well, there's not one moment.
What are the things that you're
Tough
most proud
question.
of?
Wait, let me get my
my
tank on. Okay, I'm going deep. Okay. The heck?
Okay.
All right.
Well, I sent this question to you 2 days ago.
You guys went to St. Joe's. You graduated from St. Joe's. Huge. Never did it. You went to college, graduated, never did it. Today I got a call from Ryan. Ryan's out in Athens, Greece, doing his thing, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he called to wish me a happy Father's Day and thank you. And he talked about the time sitting in our backyard as a kid. And we had chicken teriyaki, and I was making them on this little propane grill under the awning in a torrential downpour. And as I was making it, I was cutting it and serving it to you guys.
Absolutely,
as maybe 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah, that ugly awning right above us.
Yeah, so he mentioned that. He mentioned the baseball games at Lou Gehrig and the 4:00 practices at Clearfield, 4 a.m. Clearfield hockey practices, and the games and all of that. Those are the things. And Leonard, okay, we have Leonard. Leonard, double hip replacement, and driving cross country and going through. First of all, going through all the PT and all that.
Yeah.
Driving and then just persevering through all this adversity that he's been through. These are things as a parent, and I know I speak for Mom, is like, wow, you're still young. And you have so much more to come. But what you guys have done, including Hannah, is just, it's wonderful. But I think what really umbrellas all of this is that when people come up to us in public and speak very highly of your kids, and when they speak highly of your kids, for Mom and I, that's just, okay, that's paramount. That's huge. So,
well,
that's all that.
That's great. And
no, wait, let me come back. I'm coming out of the service. Okay,
depressurized. We're good. We're good. All right. Thanks. Means a lot. And a lot of my memories. Are we gonna do Lloyd Christmas?
No.
Okay.
There we go.
That's a good one. Some of my memories with my dad, with you, Dad, definitely. That's a twin moment right there, because every single one of those, this is exactly what I think of.
Yeah.
I think near the top of the list was Beatles. and hockey practices. We would go to hockey practices, hockey games. We would travel up to Canada. We would go down to the southern tier, or South Towns rather, just all around in these crazy ass hours in the day. Dad tried to put us in skates at age 3. We just got too scared and waited until we were 9 years old in 1998. But yeah, it's just the music that you would play, from the Alanis Morissette to the Nirvana to the Beatles, to all this kind of stuff. You introduced me to this world that I think the music has really shaped who I am along with you and music, totally. And did you know back then, when I went and saw Metallica in 2003 at age 15, Dad, he was saying that it's just going to be a Pokemon phase or Power Rangers or something like that. And here we are 17 years later. I'm hosting my own podcast about music. I think that's so cool. And thank you very much, Dad.
My pleasure, Kev.
And anytime.
Good man. And you're shaking my hand. This is Hannah, Leonard, and Ryan.
Yes.
And
on behalf of all 4 of us.
Thanks, bro.
And anytime, you talk about when people come up to you and give you comments on us, all your kids are great. Anytime that I'm compared to you is the greatest compliment I could possibly receive. You're my hero. I love you. And thank you guys so much for joining on the first In Conversation with my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, Jeff. This is great. I love you too.
Woo! Woo! Do this again sometime.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We could call it a Kevin J. Ray or something. I don't know.
Do it.
I don't know.
We have some questions.
We got a question.
Questions or comments?
From Hannah.
I think you said that. I think you answered that.
Yep, I did. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll see you next week, hopefully. I will be going. We were talking about Chef Wolfgang Puck. I met a lot of celebrities, a lot of heroes, including some of my favorite all-time musicians.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
I know this is your gig.
Let's hear it.
But we got a little camera over here too. We're going Facebook Live. So
yes, we are.
Can I just take a minute of your time?
We're good. We're at 37 minutes.
We'll just be a sec.
We're good.
All right.
Yeah,
So
of course, Dad.
you're at.
We'll take a sip of your drink here.
You're at. It needs ice, but you're at the Hotel Bel-Air. Oh, the Hotel Bel-Air.
Yeah.
At Wolfgang Puck.
Totally.
Serious spot.
I was driving up for my interview, and it was just. All right, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about this. All right, so Kevin's been with seated and done the whole thing as a host, and Al Pacino, Jagger, gambit of stars coming through.
Anthony Hawkins.
Very exclusive club. And he's the host, and he's at the front, and so on. Wolfgang Puck, it's his joint. And one thing happened that Kevin experienced for the first time, and called me after it happened, and asked for my advice of how to handle this. And what happened was, there was a resident in Bel-Air. He pulled up to the front door in his Porsche with a couple kids in his Porsche.
He had a better than a Porsche. It was a McLaren or some craziness.
Okay. And he wanted 2 drinks to go, whatever drinks they were. And Kevin, we don't do that, sir. I'm sorry, we don't do that. And the fella, these are people who don't take no for an answer. They just were very adamant. They want these drinks. So Kevin, followed up, no, we can't do this. And then the person asked for the manager, whoever. And Kevin went to the manager in the kitchen who was in there. So we have this gentleman who's this and that.
Tim Gallagher.
Wants these drinks.
Tim Gallagher.
And make a long story short, Tim, the manager, made the drinks and gave it to the fellow.
Yeah, Micah Paloff was manager.
Micah, whoever, made the drinks, and the fellow was on his way in his McLaren or whatever, with these 2 kids to get home. And so Kev called me that evening and wondered, okay, this is kind of a funky situation, I'm working here. How do you handle And my suggestion was, if you recall, I said, just talk to Micah, the manager, and say, if this were to happen again, how should I handle it? And I think you did that, and you came to me then the following day or two and said that Micah said you did the right thing. You came to the kitchen, you asked the manager fulfilled the want, and Wolfgang probably would not have pulled the trigger, but you did the right thing. And for a young guy at the time doing it, that's a big deal. So
Thanks.
I want to share that one. That was a big deal.
Amazing experience. It's a Forbes 5-star 5-diamond hotel. If you looked at someone different, you'd get written up. I can't tell you how many times I was written up. I don't think I told you that. I was written up so many times for just not saying, the Forbes 5-star kind of treatment. But
you learn from that. You learn from that.
Yes, yeah, I did. I incorporated it.
Those are the things that you're going to be sitting in this seat someday, and you're going to be getting posed the questions. And these are things that back in Puck days, and where you're at right now with Hunt. By the way, you're selling a home right there. You
Right
buy a
here.
home.
Jack Lewis's team. So there's a little plug for my. Thanks a lot.
The team, of course.
Appreciate that. But I did break one rule at Chef Wolfgang Puck Hotel Bel-Air restaurant, and that'll wait till next week. I got a picture.
No, I don't want to wait. No. You always tease. What was it?
All right, you know the band.
Real quick. So
all right, you know the band Foo Fighters. Okay, I had some really good kind of rapport with Taylor Hawkins, the drummer, fellow drummer. I was broing out with him. He was waiting for coffee some morning for his wife, and he had a Yes hat on. The band Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Owner of a lonely heart.
I wouldn't sing ever.
Anywho, yeah, he had a Yes. We got talking about prog rock and so on. I'll get more into it, but I asked him for a picture. I asked Taylor Hawkins, drummer of Foo Fighters, for a picture, and his wife took that picture of me and him. Secret's out. Sue me, dickhead. That's a quote from Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But Taylor Hawkins, that was such an awesome interaction with him.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino and so on. But, I saw Foo Fighters for my first time. Dave Grohl had broken his leg in Stockholm, Sweden. And Taylor was telling me how much better he thought Dave Grohl sings sitting down than standing up.
I think Dave Grohl, I'm not a Dave Grohl fan. I just think he's too,
he's
just off the charts.
He's ratchety.
Tone it down.
He's got
drummer's cool.
Yeah, he actually has big time social anxiety. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Okay.
But he's really ratchety up there on stage and shaky and stuff. But love Dave. I have not met him. I sensed the similarities between Dave and Taylor when I was talking. I felt like I was talking to Dave Grohl because they're just best friends.
Taylor Swift?
No, you like Taylor Swift.
You go back.
Saw Taylor Swift at the HSBC Arena back when. There's a picture that someone took of my dad, probably in a shirt like this at a Taylor Swift concert at row number 2. He's reaching his hand out for Taylor to take his hand. And there's a glowing dad with his bald head, and he's reaching for Taylor Swift's hand. And
I got a receding hairline.
The best.
I'm working it. I'll tell you, I go back.
Yeah.
Kev, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining.
Could we do this again sometime?
Absolutely.
Good. Would you come to my show sometime?
Yeah, again. I've been on Dad's show twice now. Father's Day 2012. And then when I first came back from California, we were Dad's interviewing me on Sear.
Yeah.
With Dave Schutte on there.
Right.
Same
He's
episode.
awesome.
But guys, seriously, thanks a lot. We're at minute number 44. I see the 12 of you over there, 11.
Yeah, got it.
I see the 6 of you. But thanks a lot, guys, and stay happy.
And over here, just sign up to YouTube at I Ask No One.
Yes, please.
I Ask No One.
I Ask No One on Instagram and YouTube. Shoot a subscribe. Shoot a like. Stay happy.
Costs nothing, but This guy's got more stories and history in the rock world than many people that I know. And he's so young. I don't know if is he good looking? Are you good looking?
I'm going to have some rockers on as well, so stay tuned for that. Stay happy, stay healthy.
Yes, happy
Right.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Woo!
Stay hungry, stay
Yeah.
happy. Can you do that? Yeah, stay heavy. On the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stay heavy.
Is it like this? Oh, those fingers?
Yeah.
Let me get them up. It's a little arthritic. Let me see.
Thanks, guys.
Is it like this? Is it like this? Do I need my mother?
Click.
All right, let me get this.